Welcome to Vetted Conversations, coming to you from Media Row at Super Bowl 60. This is our roadshow series where we take the mission on the road and our bias for patriotism travels with us. Today, we're mixing it up because we are officially halfway through season 4, and to celebrate, we're giving you 2 interviews in 1 episode. Kicking off today's episode is co-founder and vice president of Merging Vets and Players, Nate Boyer, joined by sports journalist Erin Coscarelli. Erin joined the NFL Network in 2014 and currently hosts her own podcast, Bleav in the Rams, with Bleav Media. The two talk through Erin's family's history of service, how players build and mentor the next generation of athletes, and the excitement surrounding Super Bowl 61 being back in Los Angeles. We're your veteran and military family member hosts, bringing you the conversations that matter. So let's get into it.
Nate Boyer here, Vetted Conversations at Super Bowl 60. I'm with my good friend, Erin Coscarelli. Erin, you come from a military family a bit, right? Tell me a little bit about that, how important that is for you, like the veteran community.
I mean, both sides, actually, my dad's side and my mom's side. My grandpa was in the Navy, stationed in San Diego area, which is where he met my grandma. 10 kids later, my mom, one of 10, really shaped, I think, the groundedness, the heart of our family and what really it's all about, which is taking care of people, connection. I mean, this is great. It's cool to be here, Super Bowl, convention center. There's a ton of people. You're mixing it up, but at the end of the day, we all go home, and I think the most important part is, do I like the version of myself when it's like not the glitz and the glam? How do you treat people off camera is really, to me, I think the most important. So grandpa was cool and had a lot of kids, and my mom, she just has she just always volunteering at church, taking care of people. And then on my dad's side, my uncle, he was in the military, and he got stationed somewhere. I actually don't know the specifics.
It's all good.
Because it was not easy, and he's one tough. He was like a shooter. He was
like a sniper or something.
Yeah. Uncle Joe. Yeah.
So did you come from a sports family? Like, how did you get into sports?
I mean, listen, I had 2 older brothers, kind of a tomboy. Not much has changed. I'm still awkward and a tomboy and really love throwing football and playing baseball and just any type of stick and ball. I will be first in line to be just competitive and try to win.
Yeah.
So I had a very, tomboy upbringing. My mom put me in every sport, probably because I was hyperactive. Not much has changed. And I think just the team element of growing up and having the discipline of dealing with loss, which has played such a role in my life lately. How do you handle things when they don't go your way? Yeah. Sports has really been a central theme of why I love what I do, which is really, at the end of the day, it's like, who are you beyond the jersey, beyond the stats? Like, what's important to you? So for me, it's just been growing up as an athlete and suffering various challenges in my life that I can tell the story of sports through that lens in a way.
Right. Well, to speak on that, what is the story of the LA Rams right now? What is the future of the Rams?
There's a lot of storytelling that's been so motivating, right? Because at the beginning of the season, Matthew Stafford had a back injury, right? He had an aggravated disc, and so that kept him out of training camp. And just think about the core theme of that, this is your lifeline. Not just for Stafford, who's on the older side and really trying to prove his contract situation. The contract situation in the beginning of the season was was he going to stay? Was he not? But then also McVay, he's put his heart and soul, and he's so committed to the team. And then to have this uncertain situation where you don't know if your quarterback is going to start, and you have a great backup. I mean, we have Jimmy Garoppolo. So that core theme of we got to just keep this together regardless of what the outcome might be. If he takes one weird hit against the Texans pass rush, which was week 1 for the Rams this past season, it could be dicey. So moving the ball forward, that worked out, and keeping these guys together. I think the hardest thing about a team that's contending, also trying to rebuild at the same time. Stafford's not young. Right. When do you get, what's really interesting to me, I'm so curious, Nate, what you would think with Stafford, who's maybe a year, 2 years. then you like bring in, what is that like when you have to bring in a young guy? How challenging is it when you almost have to like give the keys of success to the guy, the heir apparent? Is that hard to do?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, because you never feel like you're almost done. Even though you kind of know, you're just like, no, I'm good. And you have to have that edge and that mentality. You know, you saw that with like Aaron Rodgers when they drafted Jordan Love, you know, and there was like that conflict. But it's like, but Aaron, you know, you're almost 40. Like it's time to like groom the next, you know. But in his mind, and you have to stay that way. Like, no, I'm gonna play till I'm 50 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fine. And so I think that is a challenge because it feels like it makes sense for the organization. You know that you've got to bring in this next person. You've got to help groom them while you're still the guy. But it's like, now I've got somebody in this room that really wants to take my job, and the organization.
Yes, and I have to root for him.
Yes, I got to root for him, and the organization is like planning on him taking my job at some point. And I think that would be it's a tough situation, but it's necessary if you want the team to keep building and growing. You can't just like scrap it and only sign someone who's a dedicated backup. You know?
Yeah, the future, you know, and that's what's so interesting, even with Devontae.
Right.
You know, Devontae gets brought in as a free agent, and then Puka is like, teach me your ways. Like,
right.
Devontae is not, he is a star. He is the star, and you have to, you know, you have to share. When do you stop becoming the star and then you share the wealth?
Right.
Which is interesting because you know so much about that. It's like bringing up people and wanting the best for them, knowing, and I feel it in, you know, you can feel it in my industry. It's like when you want to bring people and make them better, there's a chance that you get left behind or something. You just have to feel really good about like elevating people and making people better, and that's what you got. I love what your mission is always about, because I'm like, this is good. Like, I see your friend over there,
BJ,
how you were with him, and like you just make him feel so included with all of your people. Right. I think that's why you're different, you know? Yeah,
I appreciate that, but no, I mean, that's what it is all about, because at some point you do got to hang it up. No matter what you do, you know, obviously athletes, vets, it's often younger because, you know, the physical side of things, you lose a step, you're dealing with injuries, like you're going to peak at a younger time. But with a lot of things, just transitions are tough in general, you know what I mean, in life. But it's it's really tough for those guys, especially when you're on the top of the mountain and you are like Stafford, like not only has been one of the best, still is one of the best, you know, still a top 5 quarterback year after year.
MVP this year, which is bananas, you know, like how do you contend with that? How do you decide, okay, I did all this, now I'm going to hang it up? And when you have a coach like McVay who's, you know, and then you have these playmakers, I don't know. Yeah.
No, I don't either. I mean, and that's the other element of this. McVay and Stafford have such a tight relationship. You know what I mean? Like, it's and they're probably about the same age, huh?
They are, right? I think McVay just turned 40, and Stafford's going to be 38 if he's not already 38. Okay. But then think about that. That's the other thing I'm so curious, just being around the team. McVay is so smart, play calling, and he has such an advanced playbook, and obviously you need somebody in there to lead the charge. Yeah. How do you even... I feel like it's like you get broken up with like the perfect girl or guy. Like, there's no replacing Stafford. How does McVay even do that? You have to find somebody smart. Yeah. Stafford's humble. Yeah. You know, he's got 4 daughters. He's like the perfect family. I mean, like, anyways. It's going to be interesting in LA, and that's why I love what I do.
Well, speaking of LA, tell us a little bit more about, I mean, this is a huge year coming up for LA sports, right? Not just year, a couple of years.
It's huge. It's going to, I mean, first of all of this is going to be in LA in the 2026 season. Right. The Super Bowl, which hopefully maybe, you know, the Rams could win it again. Would be
another
fun
home
for
game,
us.
another home game.
I know. And so that you have Super Bowl, that's exciting. Of course, you've got the Olympics in LA, that's crazy. FIFA is coming. It's a great time to be in LA, I think, you know, especially, and I don't know what you think about these kinds of things, Nate, but like when the world is going through a tough time, is it nice to have these moments to escape from, or at least does it feel like you're giving people an opportunity to escape?
Absolutely. I think sometimes people maybe feel guilty for enjoying, it's just a game, you know, it's just sports. But I always say this, and it's so true, like sports and music, I think, are like the two things where people in droves will come together and celebrate and kind of put the world behind them for a minute, pause all the stuff that, you know, are tearing us apart, all the tough things, and escape. And I think that's a healthy thing. I think everybody should do that. On a deployment, I had my iPod back then with my music, and I had football season, thank God, when I was deployed on pretty much every deployment, where I could escape and watch football because I needed that, you know. So I think it's an important thing to maintain. It's an important thing to have, you know. And it's also like, this is America's 250th birthday. You know what I mean? This is a big year of celebration for that too. As imperfect as we are, with all these struggles and the tough things that are going on, not just in our country, as you said, in the world, it's important to still celebrate and still recognize we are great. We're capable of being greater. You know, we've got that potential and that possibility. But a lot of that sports is that common ground that a lot of people can find. Even people who aren't big fans of the game itself. When you look at the Super Bowl, from the halftime show to everything that it does for the city, like it really does. It does a lot in a very positive way. So I think it's important. I think it's super important.
I love that, and I love hearing it from you, right?
Yep.
Because you were out in deployment, and those moments gave you something to give you hope, distraction. Like, I remember, you know, one of the things when my mom lost my dad and was very sad, and still is, obviously, she wanted something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Whether it was a trip or a dinner or something like that. And I just thought of that moment when you said, when you were on deployment and you had a distraction to keep you away from some of the stuff that feels heavy at times. Like, you need something to look forward to.
Absolutely. All right, last thing.
Okay.
What do you love about America?
Oh my God.
I know, it's a tough one.
It's home. There's so much, right? I mean, I love the version of myself that feels the freedom to be able to kind of express how I want and find my people that share in those values. Like, I feel really at home being in LA and covering the Rams, because those shared values make me feel like a better version of myself. Right. And I think if you can surround yourself with people that make you feel good, affect positive change, as McVeigh always says, I think that's what's amazing about America, is you can have that opportunity to do that. If you have a dream, you can achieve it if you really believe in it. And I love the ability to help and hopefully impact and support others. So
yeah, that's a great answer.
That's a hard question.
It's a hard question.
On the fly, no less. But I do love myself, America. So.
Well, Erin Coscarelli, you crushed it. You crushed that answer. You're a great representative of women in sports and what's possible in America, which is great. So God bless you. I really appreciate it. Oh, and you need to do a shout out for us. Oh. You need to do a happy birthday, America. Happy 250th birthday. Whatever you want to say.
Oh, yeah. Okay. America, happy birthday.
This next episode features Anil Nathan interviewing founder and CEO of Bleav Media, Bron Heussenstamm. Bron talks about his family's extensive history of service, the power that podcasts play in storytelling, and his time on USA's surfing team. We hope you enjoy this one.
Hey everybody, this is Anil Nathan, your host for Vetted Conversations here on Radio Row in San Francisco, California. I have the pleasure of being joined by Bron Heussenstamm. Bron, thanks so much for making the time.
Thank you so much for having me. Look, it's a pleasure to be here. Military family, thank you for the service and just getting out there and promoting the wonderful people that keep us safe.
Oh, fantastic. Well, tell me a little bit about what brings you to Radio Row this week in particular.
All of this. It's like a kid in a candy store for sports fans that want people to hear them talk.
Yeah.
So all the best talkers of sports are currently in this room right now. And so it's, the kid inside me still sees the athlete and it's like, oh, amazing. But now what brings me here is on behalf of Bleav, we have 25 or so hosts in here. And then I get to see everybody. It's a nice reunion for not only our hosts, but all of our partners that we work with across it. So
that's phenomenal. And you mentioned that you obviously have some family connection to the military, and then obviously your former role kind of as an advisor with MVP. Can you talk a little bit about that and your connection to the military within all of this in the sports world?
Yeah, absolutely. My grandpa on my mother's side was a Pearl Harbor survivor.
Oh, wow.
So he was in the doctor. They would bring people in and he would take his finger and write on their forehead whether or not they thought that they could revive him or not. So he was really in the mix. And then my my wife's father, 2 tours in Vietnam. I have 2 nephews on my wife's side, both in the Navy. One a pilot, the other was on aircraft carrier, but he just got out. On my side, 2 cousins. One cleaned the airplanes. One was a nuclear engineer, so he was like the Scotty on the submarine.
Yeah, no big deal.
But he and his wife, they had 3 kids. Or 2 kids, and he couldn't be underwater for 6 weeks without telling anybody where he is. So very connected, nothing but just the world, not only respect, but very proud of everything that they've done on both sides of our family. So,
it's incredible hearing all the connections, and thank you for their service and obviously your support for them, because as we talk about all the time.
No one's ever said that to me before. I'm just going to let that one go right through me. I'm not taking credit for their service, but yeah, I think it's just exceptional. I think it gets a lot of people. It gets away from them today how important it is, how many people have given everything so that we could be here.
No, I mean, for us, we are explicitly an organization that is veterans and military families, because it is truly core to, it doesn't matter whether you're wearing the uniform or you're a family member of somebody who did wear the uniform, you played a part in it, right? Because the families serve alongside, and so we take that very dearly to heart.
That's amazing. How did you get in?
So I served 8 years on active duty in the Air Force, but my dad was served in the Air Force for about 25 years.
Amazing.
So I always like to talk about myself. I'm a first generation American, second generation Air Force vet.
Okay.
But yeah, I was a C-17 pilot in the Air Force. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you see the movie Devotion?
I haven't yet. No.
Oh, you got to
watch
watch
great
it.
things.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
No, there's obviously so many great stories and things to kind of be inspired by and learn from with everybody who's come before. And then, tell me a little bit about how you got involved with the MVP. And
Yep.
Nate and MVP are obviously great partners of ours and doing great work.
Well, MVP started in LA with Nate and Jay Glazer, and I was working with Jay, and he was a good friend on his where they meet at MVP at Unbreakable there.
Yep.
Jay was actually, and Ryan Leaf, who I met through Jay because he was an MVP member, were the people I was trying to start podcasts for when Bleav got started. So they were both on TV, or Ryan wanted to get into that space, and I kind of saw this wave coming of this new technology that it was allowed people to skip the middleman and go direct to consumer as hosts, and it really started with our conversations at MVP.
Oh, wow.
And so those original kind of press releases, ideas, we were just kind of brainstorming and thinking about how to do that. But I mean, all the credit in the world to all the people that Jay and Nate have helped with this. The original idea to actually, a lot of people have ideas, not a lot of people actualize on them.
Sure.
And watching them open them in different cities is just incredible. And how many people they've helped, and the combination of the suicide rate between both athletes and military is very similar. And so giving both of them a team to work with together was just brilliant. And so again, really tried to do what I could in a very low scale compared to what Nate and Jay were doing, but obviously an organization that we're all really proud of when it got up and running, and it's fantastic to see how much it still thrives.
Yeah, 100%. Incredible impact, and such a great team over there doing great work. And you touched upon something that it'd be great to dive a little bit deeper into, which is the parallels that you obviously see a lot on the sports side of the equation, and then you have family that serves in the military. You've also been involved with organizations that are kind of at the intersection of the sports world and the military veteran world. What do you see kind of the connections between those two things, and where there can be more opportunity to do more good and have more impact for both sides of that coin?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll kind of speak to what I know. You've seen, I was lucky enough to be on a panel with Sean Ryan, which is kind of interesting because we both work with Cumulus, and he was there 2.5 years ago when we talked. But seeing that ability, even with just the microphone, for a lot of people to tell their story when they weren't before. And that's just the great thing about podcast and digital creation in the first place, is that no one can tell you to shut up, right? If you just want to post on YouTube,
they may not listen
on YouTube, right? That's exactly
you
right.
Still talk.
Yeah, but they can't tell you to stop. And so a lot of, and I mean, again, I'm kind of just spitballing on the numbers, but there's been some very big successes with people being able to tell their story that wouldn't have been able to because they were too many gatekeepers, right? Like, don't want to hear that. It's not right for TV. I don't have a radio station that talks about this. And they were able to find an audience and do a lot of positive with that message.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and I think the opportunity for vets in particular, who may not have necessarily a kind of celebrity platform to build off of, but still have stories to tell, have messages
Incredible
to get
stories,
out there.
Which definitely helps. And they don't have to be close to a production studio.
Right.
They can turn your home into a production studio for like $500, right? And even cheaper if you just want to talk to your phone. So that ability that you could be in New Mexico and be seen internationally in a minute to everyone's phone around the world is something that a lot of people have taken advantage of smartly, and they've had a lot of success with it. And the flip side is the people that are listening have gotten some great messages that have helped them in their life as well.
Yeah, 100%. And so as we think about messages that we're trying to get out there through our podcast and to our community, the veteran and military family community more broadly, one of the things that we're doing this year is obviously celebrating America's 250th birthday.
It's incredible, yeah.
And so, we'd love to hear a little bit about your reflections of what it means that our country is turning 250. Obviously,
Sure.
A lot of history, a lot of service, a lot of sacrifice to get to this point. But how do you think about it from your standpoint?
I was lucky enough to be on the United States surfing team. I wore that so proudly and just my own little thing. And, just being able to say that I was like, to my own detriment, would always paint like an American flag on my surfboard and then go compete in France because I just thought that was great. So I've always just been really proud. 4th of July has always been a lot of fun for me. I've got photos on my Instagram of me in ridiculous American flag merchandise. And so I just think as a country, again, when you go back to the military, how many people, gave it all so that we could be here. And it's worth celebrating. And I threw into AI the other day to reinvigorate what I already knew, which is that there isn't an inch of this earth that wasn't won by war at one time. And we should be proud of that these people along the way won, and that's how we all got here. And if they didn't win, we wouldn't be here,
Sure.
right? And it's definitely something to celebrate. And then you start making, all the jokes about where it came from, whether it's the Tea Party or being 2-0 in world wars and, how we got here in the first place. But people should be really proud of that and shouldn't shy away from it at all.
Oh, I love that. Great. And then the last ask is we're asking everybody to give a quick Happy Birthday America shout out as we kind of build a compilation of wishes from everybody we talked to. So
Amazing.
if you wouldn't mind doing that for the camera.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Bron Heussenstamm, the founder and CEO of the Bleav Podcast Network. Happy birthday, America. An amazing 250 years. And I couldn't be happier to be an American citizen and be involved in this, which is sure to be a fantastic celebration.
Awesome. Bron, thank you so much for making the time.
Hey, thank you so much, man. Keep up the great work, and thank you
Appreciate
again for
you
your
too.
service for everybody out there as well.